Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow, and I am live. It is Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to try and talk slowly and calmly today because I've got a lot to cover. And typically when I go live, I'm reading the chat, I'm going through stuff, I get worked up, my head starts to pound, and then I end up having to sign off a little earlier than expected. So I'm going to try and just stay chill and just talk about everything. And what's up, Alex? Joey D, what's going on, man? I haven't seen you in quite a while. Again, I don't know, Alex, you've been getting beat for a little while. AU 106 is gay for Crow. Thank you very much. Like one morning, Dave. Before, as I'm letting everybody get their notifications and things, make sure you hit the notification bell if you haven't already. If you're just a subscriber, I appreciate it greatly, but make sure you hit that bell so you are notified. And I also think that if you get notifications and you don't click to join the live stream, I think after enough times, you just stop getting the notifications, because YouTube, for whatever reason, YouTube loves to make us work to the bone to get every view we can muster. So it definitely helps. All the engagement, the comments, everything, your likes, it all really matters. Sadly, the algorithm works that way. And I get tired of watching videos where everybody's saying, please hit the like and subscribe. And it's so redundant and it drives me nuts. And I'm like, that's, I wish YouTube would figure out a way to work around that, because it's getting just insane at this point. What's going on? Ian hates crypto from the UK. Yeah, I would not want to be in the UK right now. Not with everything I'm seeing. First time shout out with Braceface 21. Well, welcome. I love to see new names, new faces in the chat. And I was supposed to go on blockchain basement today, and I screwed them over so hard. They were super gracious about it. I was called away. I went and looked at a property because I want to open a tabletop game store. I just want to nerd out. You guys see my bookshelf behind me, all the gaming and everything. I haven't even played 80% of what's on this bookshelf. I just like to have it in case of a rainy day. Same way I collect books, and I have books about everything. But I do want to open a game store, and I was called in, and I had to look at a property, and but I'm going to get on there soon, I'm sure. And yeah, there's so much to cover today. I'm going to go ahead and start diving into it. Also, let me know real quick what you guys think. I'm actually thinking about doing a locally focused podcast, audio only, but it may end up being just me sitting in a chair while I'm talking. I want to do a call-in podcast for Southwest Florida. I want to cover the local news. I want to bring different guests on with different professions, maybe a 2-hour podcast. I want to go over just everything that's going on. And because I was listening to, was it Adam Curry? If I remember correctly, on Rogan, and he's like, now's the time everybody should be starting local podcasts about what's going on locally. And I thought, you know what, that's a really good idea. I've already got all the equipment. As a matter of fact, I meant to check my mixer to see if I have a way to pipe in my cell phone to take calls, because I really want to I've always wanted to do a call-in podcast, a call-in talk show, and just run with it and see where it goes. And, I see a lot of compliments. I've had a lot of people my entire life tell me I should be a radio DJ, and just because my voice is deep, I guess. And so I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Is that something I should put time into? I mean, because it's probably going to take some time to build, but I think it could be fun. So anyway, let's go ahead and start looking at what's happening right now, because Bitcoin is obviously on the move. Basically down from 7,800 or 76,800, and it's breaking out of this channel here, which it's breaking to the upside out of this falling wedge, which should negate, and this is on a daily candle, mind you, so it should negate this red symbol and rather confirm the target for this green symbol here, which is basically targeting $113,500 in Bitcoin next, and it's projecting this as a target basically by next week. So even this falling wedge pattern is basically putting a proposed target up here around the same area. So This is almost like a double confirmation. Actually, I guess there were two. So this is a top. This is being negated in favor of these two completely different patterns here shaping up. And here we go. I mean, it looks like we're wanting to break out of that on a daily candle. So that's pretty exciting. We'll see if this plays out. What's interesting is that I've got this indicator that gives me all these auto patterns. I don't always have it on, as you notice, but it seems to be pretty accurate. So I like to use it and just kind of see what's happening. What am I on here? Is this? Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want, so that you guys can see my pretty old mug while I'm covering everything. So anyway, that's that. And now I'm going to refresh this just to be on the safe side. I know sometimes with different websites, you have to refresh to get the most instantaneous data. This is on the 24-hour. I want to look at least 3 days and see what's shaping up in terms of liquidity. Maybe I should put myself over here. How about that? There we go. Maybe that'll get me out of the way. Now, we can see a lot of liquidity forming up here above 89,000. So once you get above 89,000, there's a whole bunch of money sitting there. And when you get down here, you can see there's a lot of liquidity forming up here. Now, my question is how long does it take if we do start really traveling to the upside and breaking up into some new highs? Does this all sit here? Do they just keep adding to it? Like what happens? Because I do think we're going to get a break to the upside, likely break a new all-time high, and then we'll see where we go from there. We could get a pullback from there, but if we're going to go to 250,000 or something thereabouts, I don't see us slowing down in the immediate future. If this is in fact going to be a significant uptrend, I don't necessarily we could get some form of a pullback once we break 113 grand. Maybe we get a 5 or 6% pullback before we continue heading up. I really think my question is, I believe May is going to be absolutely gargantuan of a month. But I guess the question is, if I wholeheartedly believe that May is going to be significant, is everything going to be priced in? Is everything that I expect to happen in May going to happen in May, or is it going to happen leading up to May as this buy the rumor, sell the news mill that we love and hold dear in crypto? I'm hoping May is just an insanely bullish month. I mean, what could potentially happen, because this is what I see happen often, is we could get a significant rise over between now and the month of April. Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. We get a pullback, and that pullback falls into Cardano because of everything that's going to be happening around the Cardano ecosystem in the month of May. And so that would make complete sense, where, maybe not everything in Cardano and crypto land is doing well in May, but Cardano does. So we'll have to see how this plays out. I've seen this play out so many times since 2017. It's just the way things like to happen in Cardano land. So we'll have to wait and see how that transpires, but it's definitely going to be interesting. I also found this to be interesting because this has been updated finally with data from yesterday. The most recent over-the-counter balance of Bitcoins is down to 133,000. So you notice the other day I looked, it was like it was hanging steady at around 138, 139,000. It's dropped down to 132,000. There has been significant inflow in Bitcoin, and they're buying up as much of this on over-the-counter exchanges as possible. I've broken this down many, many times. So, that's very interesting. Cardano whales fill their bags. Is an ADA bull run incoming? I think so. And I think it's going to hit pretty hard. And I think it's going to catch people in ways they weren't expecting. Whales recently bought over $180 million worth of ADA in the past week, folks, potentially setting the stage for a price rally. Analysts see ADA posed for gains, with projections ranging from $1 to $1.50 if current support holds. However, rising RSI suggests caution as the asset nears overbought territory. We'll see, but I think Cardano's due for a significant rally, and I really want to see us break above $1 and then stay there. So I think this is going to happen leading into May, and then we may get a big blow off top in May. But again, I'm not making any concrete predictions. I'm just basically putting it out there that I think the next 60 days in crypto in general is going to be mind-boggling. And I still don't think that's going to be at the peak or top or anything. I think we're probably going to have two fairly significant corrections between now and the actual peak of this market. That's what I think is happening. So we'll see how it plays out. Cardano breaks out, bulls eye 85 cents and beyond. These are just headlines from different analysts and things. Basically just confirming my sentiment. So I figured I'd share. But yeah, I mean, I really want to see, if we can sit and hold it above 85 cents in the near future, then $1 to $1.50 is going to be right around the corner. But I want to see us hold 82 cents and above that for a couple days minimum. And then I'll feel really, really good about what's happening. Cardano also adds 15,000 smart contracts in just 2025 alone, which is really cool news. I mean, everything on chain is growing. And, I've got to be honest with you folks. There's some big stuff that's happening with Solana as well. I think, where is that article? Unless I got rid of it, which I wasn't planning to. But apparently BlackRock just basically switched everything from their build platform from Ethereum to Solana. And I don't understand the sense of it, but man, I'll tell you what, when you've got billionaires all working together on a crypto project, it just goes to show. I mean, a centralized chain, of course, BlackRock loves that. They try to claim to be decentralized, but let's be real. I think everything lines up with what BlackRock ultimately wants in the grand scheme of things. They want to be able to control a lot, and Solana would be that chain. Let's be honest. So it doesn't surprise me, but kudos to Solana. Listen. A lot of people, I personally despise Solana. I mean, I just do. You guys all know the reason why. And I don't hide that. But at the same time, I don't want anyone holding Solana to get burned. I really don't. And I think that's one of the reasons why myself and many others in the crypto space have been sounding an alarm, trying to help everybody understand why it's such a risky investment. To each their own. Everybody's risk aversity is different, and there are a lot of billionaires in the Solana market. I mean, there's billionaires in all crypto assets, but just the controlled nature of Solana overall, maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough to continue buying solid relationships to help propel the project forward, and maybe fake it till you make it works in the end. I really don't know, but effectively, I just try to do what I can to try and lead people in the direction of basically less risky assets. But degens will be degens, and if that's what you like and that's what you thrive on, I'm not here to judge. It is what it is anymore. I've kind of given up on the fight. The word is out to anybody that wants to know the real deal behind Solana. And if that's not enough to make you skirt to the side of caution, then, to each their own. I hope it goes well for you. I'm just tired of the fight. Honestly, I'm tired of the Solana degens. I'm tired of calling people out. I'm just burnt out. I think it's a time now where we all just start to grow. And I think that, the meme coin market, everybody is finally getting around to admitting meme coins are trash, leave them alone. And that's the biggest sentiment to me. Leave the meme coin trash alone. It's time to focus on the real deal Holyfields. And so the SEC and Ripple have agreed to drop their remaining appeals while Ripple recovers $75 million from escrow and the SEC is keeping $50 million, making a likely final resolution to the long-running case. So that's good news, man. This should finally officially be over. Everybody got paid for their time very well, I might add. But hey, congrats to the Ripple, the XRP army, and all of you guys. Things should definitely start looking up, though I still don't think it's ever hitting $1,000 or $10,000. I mean, you got to be realistic, folks. It's just not happening. Michael Saylor confirms in a semi-cryptic but very revealing statement that he's burning the keys to over 17,000 Bitcoin worth $1.5 billion, saying that's my legacy. And, this kind of struck me because everybody, all you guys that follow me, you guys know how much legacy means to me. And it's just like, I've tried to do so many things to try and help as many people as I can. I try to do what I can basically from the comfort of my own home. I'm a lazy fat son of a bitch and I really don't like to leave, but what I can do here, I try. And, I am going to start working out again, though. I swear I am. I even bought an ice bath to start doing that in the mornings. It's just like, man, when I first wake up, I want hot coffee. I don't want ice water, but I'm working through it. I'm working through it. But the legacy is such an important thing, man. And I think once you get, I see a lot of the young people in the world, everybody, oh, Elon's this, Elon's that. And they're all just kind of trying to get laid and they're trying to score points with like liberal girls in college. And, I've seen numerous men like who are just at one point, they were just like rough and tumble, alpha dogs, and then they get tamed like little puppies because they married a liberal wife. And I'm not saying there's even anything wrong with that. I mean, I'm just saying, like I always say, to each their own. I don't give a shit. But I see the psychology of people changing over time as though they're being trained over time. And, I was my wife and I have been watching Love is Blind, and we're watching, the girl who's all about, DEI, basically all the woke stuff. And, and the guy she's meeting, I know how this ends for that particular couple because I saw it on X a little while back. I know she basically leaves him at the altar. But watching that all transpire and seeing how easily, like, just, it's like, listen, folks, everybody's got to calm down. I mean, and really, we've got to get off of mainstream media. It is mainstream media today truly is a cancer on society. It's turning everyone into tumors, and these tumors are all eating each other. And it's just like, it's really disgusting in a lot of ways. But I think on legacy and like, what do I'm kind of coming to terms with the fact that no matter what I say, anything I post on social media, it's only going to vibrate with people that already agree with me. And there's no way to compete with the billions of dollars that are buying narratives being projected across movies, television, newspapers, YouTube, media, social media, the whole nine. Like, there's no way my little voice is going to contend with any of that. People are legitimately being programmed to believe a lot of shit to benefit the people paying the money to send the message to begin with. And they just do not and will not believe that they are being played like little lemmings and pawns. And I get it. There's ego in that. There's arrogance in that. But when I think of my legacy, I'm constantly trying to understand the world so that I can try to figure out ways to benefit more and more people the best I can with what I've been given. And sometimes I feel like it's a lot and sometimes I don't. And then you've got somebody like Michael Saylor who, to burn $1.5 billion, a part of me wonders, like, dude, I get what he's trying to do. He's basically trying to lower the supply from, 21 million, and he's trying to knock off 17,000 of those tokens by effectively making the remaining tokens more valuable for everyone that holds them. But wouldn't this money be more well spent doing something else directly for the populace or for the people? And I'm not trying to knock what he's doing here or what he's saying he's going to do, but like, realistically, I feel like a lot of the people that are in Bitcoin are already wealthy. They're already going to be doing well. What about the people that don't have any? And what about the people who, I mean, and I'm not even trying to like make excuses for them, but we know that cryptocurrency for the most part is kind of a left versus right battle, right? The left are against it. The left are basically against anything that involves them putting in effort, time, or money. Like, let's just be real, because they believe that what they learned in college should carry them through. And anything that doesn't help them is like evil, bad, terrible. I mean, it's just, they're not, it's the way everything is changed. It's like they all have their hands out and they're all victims. Like, if they don't get what they want. And then you've got the right who are very much like, I'm going to work for my money. I'm going to invest my money. Capitalism, right? It's like this capitalism versus socialism. And so, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, so you basically want to burn $1.5 billion worth of crypto assets. How does that really help them, like the people, is basically my point, when that money could be much more better used for a lot of other things. Maybe put that money to work for homeless recovery, a second chance house. Shit, Michael, call me. I've got a million ideas on how to really utilize some of that to benefit a lot of people, man. I don't know. I don't think I would be doing it this way. I know I wouldn't be doing it this way, but to each their own. This is what resonates with him. This is what he feels is going to serve a big purpose. Will he go down in history as having a legacy of burning that kind of money? Yeah, especially when that $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin is someday worth $1 trillion. He's always going to be talked about. He's always going to be mentioned for his sacrifice. So, to each their own. I like Michael Saylor, though. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think he's like a freaking maverick, man, if there ever was one. Breaking news: you can now travel the world using ADA right now. I love this. I think this is sick. I think this is awesome. And this is from Travala. Do you know you can book hotels worldwide using Cardano, ADA, via Travala.com? So you can go to Travala.com, book your travel, and pay in Cardano. You know I'm over that. I'm all over this shit. So this is just one new way where you can basically you can travel, folks. You can go anywhere you want using your ADA. So maybe at the peak of the market, everybody books a nice trip vacation, because you're not having to cash it out. You know, you don't have to deal with transferring it and putting it in your bank and then paying with your credit card or writing a check. You can do it right from your Cardano wallet. And that is big. That is huge. That's a huge use case. I don't even know what the statistics are for that. It probably says somewhere in an article. But like, how much money do people spend on travel, man? I mean, this is nuts. Travel exclusively, luxuriously, and privately with cryptocurrency. Gain access to the most extravagant travel items in the world not available to the public. You know, I half jokingly told Charles, I'm like, dude, like you got to hook me up, man. Like, you know, a lot of these guys, they've got their own ways of travel. And I'm like, you know, I really, really would love to have, I would really love to book like a week or 2 week trip, take a bunch of friends to like Ibiza, you know, maybe in August or something. And I would love to do that. So maybe I'll do that using my ADA and see what Travala.com has to offer me. Hey, Travala, hit me up. Let's get something going. I need a jet to Ibiza in August. How about that? This is yours truly. This is my Crow node. Thank you to David Nance, who's basically managing this. He's been managing it he's just been doing such an amazing job. But I created this image, and it's because the Crow node just minted 66 out of a scheduled 68 blocks this past epoch. Folks, that's huge. That's huge. We've got 52 blocks scheduled for the next epoch. So if you're not delegating your ADA yet, you need to delegate it, whether it's to Crow node or not. But there are so many people out there holding ADA, and they're not generating the passive yield. Folks, your ADA, don't listen to the Solana people. They're degens. They have no idea what they're talking about. I see them talk about this stuff all the time, and they're intentionally putting out false information. When your ADA is sitting on your wallet, you can delegate to the Crow node, generate a passive yield every epoch. You'll just see, you need to also, you also need to delegate a DREP. So that could either be me, you're a Crow. And I've got, you know, if you go to cryptocrow.io, I've got kind of an article I wrote. You can find it right in the header links. But you need to do that to get your yield. It's not a big deal. It takes 2 seconds. It's as easy as delegating in the first place. So you're going to delegate to the Crow node. And then you'll delegate to a D rep that you like. It doesn't have to be me, folks. I'm at like 174 million voting power and growing. Like, I'm not starving for D rep power, but you get a passive yield, man. And the more ADA you've got, the more you generate in a passive yield, and it's not locked. I could go right now. I can book. Maybe I should do this someday as an experiment to prove the Solana folks how ridiculous they are. I should set up another wallet, just do everything live on a video. Maybe I'll do that. Set up a wallet, delegate to the Crow node, and like after I've done all of that, book a trip on Travala using the same Cardano I just delegated. It's not locked. You can do that. You can use your ADA. So anyway, I'm not going to harp on that for long, but it's a big deal. Just in, Bing X has officially listed Cardano ADA, bringing exposure to its 10 million users worldwide, as if they aren't already familiar with Cardano, one of the biggest projects ever to hit the world. Whales have bought 240 million ADA in the past week. We've kind of covered that in terms of dollar amount. Ali charts, he's always got bullish charts going off, but I think he's fun. I think he's fun to read. Okay, yeah, this is the article I was talking about. Solana rises as BlackRock brings its $1.7 billion tokenized treasury fund to Ethereum's rival chain, Solana. I really don't understand this, but to each their own, man. It's a big win for Solana. It is what it is. I call it as I see it. I don't have to like Solana to say congratulations, you degens. You got a big score. Solana is currently trading at $145 at the time of this writing, up nearly 19% in the last week. It is what it is, folks. Apex Fusion just published their their roadmap. Apex Fusion isn't just building infrastructure. We're sequencing a system one phase at a time, products with purpose, features that evolve, a protocol that breathes. Here's what's coming in the roadmap. You should check this out. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming to Apex Fusion. If you're not a token holder yet, you might want to check it out. I'm kind of an ambassador, pseudo, I don't know what you want to call me. I've got my node. If you pick up Apex tokens, it's AP3X. If you pick up a bunch of those tokens, make sure you stake them to the Crow node on Apex network. Apparently I've got one of the biggest growing, the best nodes of all of them so far. So according to Dave, he's like, dude, your node is growing organically better than everyone else's. So people are recognizing the Crow brand across all these nodes, and I do greatly appreciate the support. And I'm generating a yield there, and they're going to be giving me some tokens at some point. I don't have anything yet, but at some point in the future, I will be like compensated for my involvement. But I mean, I've been working with them and have been a proponent of Apex before we really even had any kind of anything, like any agreements to do anything. So I just think it's cool. And I kind of look at it, like I've always said, as my more degen play when it comes to Cardano, in the sense that Cardano is the grand poobah for decentralization, decentralized governance and all of that. And Apex has got a different system. It's still built off of the open source Ouroboros model and all of that, but they're taking a different approach to the way they're decentralizing the decisions that are happening. It's a little more centralized than Cardano. And so it's kind of a race to see, well, what really does the best over time? And what is Apex Fusion going to be able to get accomplished and get done in a more centralized governance system, as opposed to basically, leaving everything up to the public. And who knows how either of them is going to end up. But they launched with Prime, a secure decentralized foundation powered by the Ouroboros consensus model or protocol. With Prime, Explorer, and wallets, users finally get UTXO clarity. And with native liquid staking at 10% APY, they earn from day one. So make sure you delegate to my node if you have some. This isn't just a chain, it's the core reactor of the ecosystem. Phase 2, I mean, there are a lot of phases. I'm not going to cover all of it, but you can see here, man, there's a lot of stuff that's happening in this roadmap. almost 26,000 views already. And yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a fun hold. I think this is going to be a fun hold. Now, this is a little bit of a paid segment with Sonic. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying a few things. I've been hearing about Sonic now for quite a while. Okay. I've been seeing a lot of the big Solana bulls talking about Sonic. I've been seeing a lot of influencers talking about Sonic, and I haven't really, I really, honestly, I didn't know that much about it. And then they reached out to me, somebody reached out to me and they were said, hey, you know, we'd love to do a collab. What are your rates? Yada, yada. I basically told him what it was. And there he's like, cool, I'm gonna take it back to the team. He came back to me. He's like, that's cool. Let's go. And they sent me, USDC or USDC.E, which I guess is the bridged Sonic stable token. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So I had to go figure a bunch of stuff out. And I will say that I don't deal a lot with bridging and all of that stuff. I'm kind of weary about it, a lot of that, but it was pretty simple. And I was able to convert it into like an Ethereum based stable in seconds. And there was no fuss, no muss. It was very easy. And then I realized this is Phantom Network. This is the original Phantom Network rebranded and expanded upon to increase its throughput and a lot of other things. And I thought, okay, I'm familiar with Phantom from way back. And so this is basically like Phantom under a new brand on steroids. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm down. I'll cover this. I've seen all these people talk about it and I didn't understand why. Well, there's a lot of marketing going behind this. And here's the thing, just because something is a paid, you know, basically just because influencers are being paid to cover something, it doesn't mean it's a bad project. That really means that they've got the money to back what they're building and they're trying to get it out to the public. That's not the problem. The problem I have is when people do not disclose that they're being paid. That is the problem. And that's why I always say you have to be extremely weary of influencers that are not inside the US, because they don't have to disclose anything to you. They can just say, oh, look at this. I've got all these tokens and I'm, you know, this is going to be the next best thing since sliced bread. And, you know, not tell you that they've been financially incentivized to send that message to you. I am telling you, I've been paid to talk about Sonic, but you also know that just because I've been paid doesn't mean that I'm going to sit here and tell you all kinds of glowing fun stuff about a project. I call it as I see it, and it is what it is. And that's all there is to it. But when I look at the metrics of Sonic, market cap is currently $1.9 billion. So, I mean, this isn't a small cap coin, really. It's currently trading at 61 cents. It's up about 2 cents. I think its all-time high was around 85, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Total supply, its max supply is infinite, which isn't good, but so is Ethereum. Its circulating supply right now is 3.1 billion tokens. So a lot of room to grow. And I don't know the exact numbers to like if there are token unlocks or how additional coins are minted. I haven't dove that deep into it yet. This is kind of my first dive into this project. This is on a month. Let's see. So back in, I'm assuming this is March. Okay, no, this is February. I don't know, around February, we're looking at this peak here. It was close to $1. So it's come down. It's currently trading at around 61 cents. Let me see. What was its height? Yeah, about $1 over the past year. So, I mean, it's got room to grow. I mean, I'll say that. Up 40% just in the last 14 days. Down 24, almost 25% over the last 30 days. So this has been, it's been up and down, but I think the number of markets is pretty substantial and growing. I mean, they're really trying to build a solid ecosystem around this. DeFi redefined. Sonic is the highest performing EVML1, combining speed, incentives, and world-class infrastructure powered by Sonic Token. Upgrade your Phantom tokens to S on a 1-to-1 basis through the upgrade portal. So if you're holding Phantom tokens and for whatever reason you're like, I've got these Phantom tokens, I don't know what to do. Just convert them into S tokens, convert them to Sonic. You can bridge them, which I just used the bridge. It was very easy. I don't even like bridges, but it worked very, very flawlessly, I will say. You can stake your Sonic tokens to secure the Sonic network and earn rewards. So this is a proof of stake network. Great. And then you can check out additional docs. Now, getting started with Sonic. Once you've got your Sonic tokens, what can you do with them? You might want to get a wallet. Personally, you can set up the Sonic mainnet on your MetaMask wallet if you prefer. And that's a pretty easy process. And then you can bridge them, and then you can earn. You can immerse yourself in our ecosystem and earn points for this S token airdrop. So I think this is what the big builder is right now. This is what a lot of the influencers are talking about. It seems to be the big thing is airdrops. When new projects launch on, and we're probably going to see some of this type of stuff coming to Apex Fusion as well. But basically, as new projects are launching on this network, they're doing airdrops to continue building interest in their community and what they're building and what they're launching. And because the transition from Phantom is relatively new, and now we've got Sonic, and you've got, I think it's like 10,000 transactions a second is what they're boasting right now. So this is actually pretty interesting. I told them I wasn't going to take Sonic tokens. I would take a stable token, but I would be interested in accumulating some of these and taking part in the airdrops, if anything. For regular content, like what are these airdrops actually valued? What can you earn by generating revenue from staking the S token and getting these airdrops? So maybe that's something I look at in the future. I'm definitely interested in doing something like that. I think it'd be interesting content to kind of say, hey, what do I stand to yield? This is my.soniclabs.com. You can connect your wallet. I haven't done this. I can log in with X, get a referral thing, and earn more Sonic tokens if you guys join. I wasn't going to do that to you. I was already compensated for the video. There's no point in like doubling up. I mean, I guess I could have, but it's whatever. I'm not worried about it. Points. You can generate points, which are, exchangeable for different things, usable for different things. There are different apps. This is the overall ecosystem right now, which actually Kyber swap. Is Kyber network still a thing? Because I haven't heard anything from Kyber network in a long time. I was actually bullish on Kyber network at one point. Thunderdome, social fi platform that allows users to engage with communities through tickets. Oh boy. Memebox, a DEX for meme coin trading. No thanks. Anything that has to do with meme coins, I'm not touching. Degen Express, launch meme coins and other. Yeah, of course. Degen Express. That's pretty funny. Vicuna finance lending protocol offering automated strategies for leverage. These lending protocols, I'm really not averse to them. I think lending protocols are going to be the way of the future. I just think a lot of them are going to be maintained and operated to some extent by banking institutions. That's what I think. And I don't think the majority of newcomers and degens to the space are going to trust a lot of these new lending protocols that are popping up on a regular basis. I just don't see that being a thing. I don't trust them. I just don't. I feel like I need to see these lending protocols deal with multiple cycles, bull and bear markets, without like crumbling under their own infrastructure. Like otherwise, I'm not putting my money in any of them. But there's a lot of stuff on here, man. I mean, check out the ecosystem. You'll probably find something that I would like to see something like this on Apex, honestly. There are 127 applications already on the Sonic platform. And, that's kind of the beauty when, you launch as Phantom and then you're rebranding, you're increasing your throughput, your transactions per second. You're basically giving your chain a big dose of steroids. You're sending it out into the world to start, building relationships with more developers. You've got established applications already on chain, ready to go. So that's cool stuff, man. I'm down. I can dig it. And there's a lot of other stuff that I'll cover probably in the future. I got kind of a notes list that's kind of breaking down, a lot of what's happening and what's going on in their ecosystem. How did the Sonic how did Sonic become so big? Crongy's support is a great boost. Cesta's marketing always helps, and the tech is crazy good. But one of the biggest deals is the massive airdrop campaign. Is this $200 million worth of tokens will be airdropped to users of the chains, which at current value means $120 million or so total drop. And that's only if S remains at the current price of 60 cents, which is unlikely. Likely being it's going to go up, because the idea is that to take part in the airdrops of the ecosystem, people are basically buying the tokens, which is limiting supply, increasing price with the demand, right? Supply demand that drives the price up. So the value of the token you're buying to take advantage of all of the different airdrops coming to the ecosystem is benefiting you. And then you're getting the value of all the tokens associated with these airdrops as the ecosystem flourishes and builds. It's probably a good time to get in. I honestly, if this were something brand new, then I would be kind of weary. But because this is basically a rebranding and they're well funded. I mean, they're well funded. This doesn't seem cash grabby to me. It doesn't feel dirty to me. It feels like they're trying to resurrect a chain that was pretty prominent at one point, and then just lost favor over time. I don't know if it was due to the meme coin craze or what caused it, but that's basically where it's at. And so, yeah, Sonic, check it out. soniclabs.com. And I think that might be beneficial to some folks. The price isn't very expensive. So yeah, looking at Bitcoin again, $88,100. Now let's go ahead and see what's going on in chat land. And let's just see what you guys have to say. Give the video a like. I'm going to scroll back up here. We're only at 41 minutes, so I covered a lot of that stuff, and I was able to pay some bills today, which is nice. I do like that Sonic, so I'm probably going to put some time into getting involved in that ecosystem. If I get into Sonic, Apex, Cardano obviously being my number one. I've got IAG. At some point, I'm going to be doing a video where I'm ranking a lot of the top assets. I posted on Twitter. I'm going to make a list. I may do that for Friday's video. I want to see what happens over this week first. I want to see if we get some sort of correction tomorrow. Did I just catch a live stream on time? Wow. What's up, Tony? Love to nerd out. Yes. Caught a live. Yes, I know. I'm reading from earlier. What do you think on Litecoin? I really don't think much on Litecoin. I'm just being honest. I don't follow it. It had a big heyday, man, in 2017, and then came down and really just never did much after that. What's up with the title? I don't remember. What did I title this video? Crypto news or something? I listen to local AM talk radio a lot. A local podcast could work. I really do want to do. I do want to do a local podcast radio show. I'm not sure how to set it up to have call-ins. Blog Talk Radio was the only platform I knew of that enabled you to do that, to actually have live call-in guests, and they just closed, I think, in 2024. So, if you know of one, let me know in the comments, because I've been looking and I'm not finding anything like Blog Talk Radio. I've even thought about doing it with you guys with crypto. If I go live, have a call in, your audio is patched in, because there are a lot of people who will call in, but they don't want to be seen, right? So I thought about doing call-ins on live streams. I thought that would be fun, where you guys can call in, ask your questions, I answer them. We do maybe a weekly Q&A on Sunday evenings or something like that in preparation for the new week. I don't know. If I can figure out a way to do this with the local podcast, I might figure out a way to do it on here as well for crypto. Not a new and for those of you still watching, it looks like there's about 1,101 viewers. I without fail, man, I always get these spam, the spam comments promoting like whatever they're paid for, like whatever the scammy token of the week is. They've always got weird names for the most part, APXYZ token, or it's all trash. Like, just downvote those comments. Every one of those needs to fall to the bottom, and then upvote positive comments. That way people see them and they have something to engage with, because what these bots do is they spam YouTube video comments. YouTube won't do anything about it. Everybody has a right to exist. That's their whole motto. And so like YouTube won't do anything about it. We don't have any tools that help us really, because they just keep spinning up new names and new accounts to spam with. And so we don't have any way of doing it. There should be like IP bans or something to that effect, but we don't have those either. And then it's just like when people go to the comments, a lot of people want to read the comments. Like, what does this person have to say? What were answers to Crow's question or whatever? And they get drowned out by the spam, and then the engagement falls, and then the video doesn't do so well. So for all of you guys out there, man, it'd really help me if like you see these spammy comments, you know, 5 comments in a row, and they're all talking about some trash token. Just downvote that stuff so that it falls, and then all the legitimate questions and comments rise to the top, so that all of you guys can engage with each other. What's up, George? How's the family? Family's doing good. Everybody's doing well, and yeah. It's funny. I just took a picture of my wife meditating outside today, and I sent it to some friends, and I was like, "Hey, this is my wife waiting for Cardano to get back to $2." Maybe I'll post it on Twitter because it's kind of funny. Charles, tomorrow meeting. Yeah, is that tomorrow? Where Charles is going to be the mediator for Eric Trump and some other folks. That'll be interesting. If they live stream that, I'm going to have to live stream it on here so that you guys can join me, because I'm definitely watching it. Hit those likes, people. That'd be great. Thank you. Ethos Crips. Let them keep buying LMAO. Sup fam, just invested myself and got a new camera. Thanks to Ada baby. Time to take my content up a level. No more phone overheating. Phone overheating? What the hell are you talking about? Forked and Fire Iron Kitchen. All right, man. Well, congrats on buying a new phone or a new camera with your Cardano. That's cool. Where were you able to use Cardano to buy stuff? I know at some point Newegg, I don't know, does Newegg accept Cardano to buy equipment and things? That'd be good to know. I don't know. Let me know. We need some retailers that are going to sell. We've got Travala.com. I need to see some big retailers that are accepting ADA. I mean, honest to God, especially with this market cycle, every retailer out there should be clamoring to try and be able to offer, accept ADA, Bitcoin, everything. They're going to miss out on a lot of sales. Crow's a pro, not your average Joe. Huddle your bags and watch them grow. All hail Cardano. Modern day wise guys. Thank you. What is he to do? Just give money away or build homeless shelters, feed the poor, build clean water facilities around the world? All of the above. I don't know. You know what I mean? I just think burning the value. Michael Saylor burning $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin just sounds fairly reckless to me. I just think, it's $1.5 billion worth, why not put that in some sort of yield farming? Why don't you wait until Cardano launches, wait until Bitcoin OS launches, wait until the IOHK version of that launches, then use that $1.5 billion worth of value, put it in some sort of yield farm or some sort of DeFi application where you can stake it and generate new value, take your yield every week or whatever, which I'm sure would be substantial. You know what I'm going to do? Damn it. Here's what we're going to find out. Let's see. What would it be? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to find out if Michael Saylor, Cardano staking yield. We're going to figure this out right now. If he were to not burn that and he were to apply it, staking yield calculator. Hold on, folks. We're going to get to this. We're going to what would the actual, what could he do a month maybe? In working that out. So $1.5 billion worth of ADA. Let's see. What's the price right now? 75 cents. All right. So if he's got $1.5 billion, 1500, 123, 123. All right. Divide that by 0.70 cents, which is Jesus. All right. So we're just going to call this 2.1 billion ADA. Like, for real though. Now where's my calculator? Oh, where'd it go? Hold on. Sorry. So sorry. Dag nabbit. Where'd it go? I've got all this other stuff open now. All right. I'm just going to reopen another one. Cardano staking calculator. And then I'm going to open this up. All right. So we're going to go to, there we go. All right. So if you were to take that $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, wait for Bitcoin OS to launch, and we're going to do this in ADA, and we're going to say, okay, so he takes all that and then like bridges it, whatever he does. 1 day's worth of earnings on that money is 184,000 ADA. Okay. In 7 days, you're looking at 1.291 million. Every month, he would be generating 5.5 million ADA. Every month, 5.5 million. So you tell me, what could you do with 5.5 million ADA every month? 67.3 million ADA a year. So if he were wanting to establish a legacy, knowing that Bitcoin is about to have full access to the Cardano DeFi ecosystem, rather than burning 17,000 Bitcoin, why would he not just utilize DeFi and Web3 and the Cardano ecosystem, take the yield? He doesn't even have to compound it, which would also get insane, but take that yield and put it to work. Start a foundation that changes the lives of people. He could, for that kind of money, he could start a school that trains people on digital assets, AI, robotics. Like, why don't you plant the seeds to changing the future for so many people in a way that is generational, not just like, oh, well, I've improved the value of your Bitcoin by 0.2%. I mean, those are the numbers right there. I just think I think it's crazy. I really do. I think it's crazy. Let me know. What do you guys think? What do you think of Michael Saylor burning 17,000 Bitcoin when he could be generating 67 million ADA every year when Bitcoin OS launches? I mean, let's just be real about it, folks. I just think that money could be much better put to use. And on top of that, he's not even losing anything. He could burn it someday in the future if he wanted. I mean, it's just crazy. Michael Saylor, come on, man. Come on. I get the point, but I just think you could do a lot better. I think you could do a lot better. He already has a coding and blockchain school online. I get that. That's cool. But, I've talked about this a million times on this channel. One of the things that I've wanted to do is if I had billions of dollars, man, and I could just really afford to do it, staff it, fund it, the whole nine, as a legacy project, I would love to buy an old school, like literally like a school building. Like, I don't know, the school lost its funding or whatever. There was one in Lawrenceburg, Indiana that I always thought it'd be cool to buy. It might even still be available. I don't know. But it was a giant schoolhouse. And I thought, man, I mean, hell, I was a teenager when I first thought of it. And I thought I would love to someday be able to come back, buy that school building, convert it so that it's like classrooms and like what's the word I'm looking for? Like condos, or like apartments, and just go out and recruit homeless. You know what I mean? And just, you start off with like a questionnaire, like, what did you used to do? What happened? What went wrong? What do you want to do? Do you want to change your life? Do you want a second chance? And I want to call it, I want to have a group. I always thought of them going out in these like black t-shirts that say like second chance squad. And they're going out and they're just finding people that want to take a second chance on life. And they want to build a leg up. And then you bring them in and you educate them on the latest stuff, like whatever their aptitude allows, right? It could be anything as simple as running 3D printing Like here, click print and make sure the prints come out clean, wash them, do this, do that. And then you sell them, they're making money doing that. There are just so many different things that can bring people up to this new level of technology that's empowering people to do amazing things. I'm writing a novel right now using AI. And I'm using a software called Novel Crafter, and so far it's really freaking cool, man. And I'm like, there's just so many different things, Michael Saylor. There's so many different things that could be done to like really establish a strong legacy for like year after year, generations to come, man. And man, are you from Lawrenceburg? Yeah, I went to high school in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. I dropped out as a sophomore. I mean, really, they kind of just wanted me gone. Yeah, I left school as a sophomore. I spent like half of that year. Actually, I talk about this, and if you look up Crypto Princess and Crypto Crow, I just did like almost an hour-long interview with her. I talked all about it. If I had 50 million, I'd be donating charities all over the place, mostly for food insecure children. Yeah, Seth, listen, I mean, I get that, but the reality is it's almost like it's like, why burn it? And it's like in the Bible where they talk about, you could either feed a man a fish today or teach him how to fish so he could, eat for life. And it's like, doing something like this, taking that Bitcoin, utilizing the Cardano ecosystem. If you guys are out on Twitter, you guys need to like retweet this video and tag Michael Saylor, give him a time code. Like, he needs to watch this, man. There's so much more he could be doing with that. 67. I mean, imagine Cardano gets to $5 to $8, even $10, right? Let's just say it peaked out at $8. I'm still holding pretty. I'm still expecting $8 ADA. Maybe it happens. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe we go above that. I don't know. But could you imagine generating 67 million ADA every year? Or let's just say it happens over the course of, let's say 30 days. Let's say it peaks out at $8. It sits at $8 for a month or something, right? You're still generating, 5.5 million ADA value between $5 to $8 at that time. What could you do with that money to change the lives of so many people? Why does it have to just be financial? Why does it have to be? Well, I'm going to put a little dent in the Bitcoin's total tokens. Who gives a shit, man? There's only 21 million of them to begin with. Like, it's not like it's a freaking. It's blowing me away. It's blowing me away. I would rather like create a tiny pittance of a dent in the overall $21 million. And on top of that, how many people have lost keys forever? I wish there was a way to know like how many of the long-term whales that like just they've never done anything on their wallets because they lost their wallets, they lost their seed phrases, they lost whatever. Like, dude, it's already been done. Like, what? Like, Michael Saylor, man, come on. I feel like he's already like a light bearer for so many in crypto and Bitcoin. And to do something like this, yeah, man, it's a bold statement, but it's a useless one. Put that money to work, brother. Put that money to work for people. You don't have to burn it. Lock it up into a smart contract that you can never touch again. And then take that yield and put that to work with a foundation that benefits people for generations, dude. Come on, man. All right. It would crash both the BTC and ADA markets. Crow just doesn't understand. How? You're saying what? Because of somebody selling? If you were to sell 1.2 million ADA every week, nobody says you have to sell it. I mean, this is the thing. We're building economies inside of blockchains. We're building infrastructure so that you don't have to cash out into the dollar. That's the whole point of what we're building in a lot of this. This is why decentralization means so much. This is why Bitcoin is so valuable. This is why Cardano is going to continue growing year after year, cycle after cycle, forever. This is why, because we're built the same way you can now book private jets and flights and hotels on Travala.com for your ADA. You don't have to cash it out, and it's like, Folks, you don't understand. You don't understand. This isn't about taking this asset, immediately selling it back into a US dollar to do something. This is about so much more than that. Anyway, it is what it is. Congratulations to Michael Saylor for being able to burn $1.5 billion and not blink an eye. Your legacy is intact. Until next time, guys, thanks for joining me. Hit the like if you don't mind. Downvote all the spammy comments that are sure to come. And until next time, grow your coins, and I'll see you soon. And also, thank you to my sponsor, Sonic. Thank you to I Trust Capital. And I've got some stuff coming in the near future for Legacy Network as well. So until then, I'll see you soon.